This may come as quite a shock, but marrying my husband was the best career move I ever made. Not getting married, marrying that guy. He's been an incredible champion of my career, pushing me forward and encouraging me in a million different ways in the background. He's been a stay-at-home dad, a style consultant, a sounding board, you name it. And when he wants to give me a little pep talk, he says, "Get up there, Peanut." He calls me Peanut because I'm so tiny. It started in a haunted house. He wanted me to go first. So he said, "Get up there, Peanut." And when I started speaking at conferences, he said, "Get up there, Peanut." And when I was up for my first executive position, he said, "Get up there, Peanut." It's go for it, I love you, you can do it, and you look great in dem jeans, all in one. In order to get where we need to go, we need people who push us forward. They don't coddle us or tell us it's okay to stay in our comfort zone. They say, "Get up there, Peanut." 2 years ago, I founded a group of executive moms. I just wasn't finding my people. I'm a woman in tech. There aren't enough of us. Studies show that only 20% of technical jobs are held by women, and there's evidence that number is declining. And when I look around, I don't see many other moms. Well, let me clarify. I see some moms of little kids, toddlers. But what happens to all the moms of high schoolers? Are they getting promoted so high up in their organization I don't see them anymore? If that's the case, I want to know them, be mentored by them, and support them. Or are they dropping out of tech? If that's the case, we need to build a better support system, the get up there, Peanut kind of support. 2 years ago, I founded a group of executive moms. There are plenty of groups for stay-at-home moms. But what if you want to stay in competition with men? And why do men get to have kids and not take a step back in their careers? There just wasn't a place for executive and entrepreneurial moms actively pushing their careers forward while parenting. I have to say, I have great respect for all the decisions a mom can make, to stay at home, to work part-time, to lean in or lean out. Well, I want to drive forward in a big way. I want to stay on the same trajectory I was on before I started having kids. I want to continue to be a breadwinning, butt-kicking powerhouse. In addition to the social isolation, being a mom in tech was starting to affect my career, and I didn't know where to go for advice. I had a female boss who told me not to put myself forward for a promotion until my youngest was in kindergarten. With 2 kids, she was suggesting that I let my career stagnate for 8 years, that I let every opportunity and promotion pass me by for the better part of a decade. I had a male VP who congratulated me on my pregnancy in one breath and then told me I was lucky if I only set my career back a year in the next. I can't really say if that was terrible advice or just really honest. And I traveled. Not a lot, maybe once a month. And as I was having trouble connecting with my kids while I traveled, I kept getting advice on how to advocate for less travel. Now, that's a problem because my position required that much travel. I didn't need advice on how to take myself out of the game. I needed advice on how to play the game with new rules. So I took all the other strong powerhouse moms I knew and put them together in an online group. I said, this isn't just working moms. This is something more. This is for women who run companies, have side hustles, serve on boards, the entrepreneurs and change makers. This is ladder climbers with ankle biters. I made it exclusive. I told plenty of people no. This isn't a catch-all for every mom in the region. This isn't for dog moms, part-time dabblers, or hobbyists. This is, hey girl, I see you eyeing that CEO position. And I invited each of these women to pass along the invitation to other women who needed the group. And I put myself way out there. I posted stuff that absolutely no one responded to. Posts that just went whoomp. But I encouraged women to tell me what they were most proud of. What did you do today that made you feel like the boss? And I started to get an amazing response. This is a picture of Emily Kuhn as she chairs the Women's Caucus of the Wisconsin Democratic Convention while holding a baby. She is a great example of a dynamo with kids in tow. Here she is testifying in front of city council, and here she is running for city council. Successfully, I might add. The thing is, I actually love self-promotion. I firmly believe women don't do enough of it. We've been told our whole lives to be humble and not to boast and to share the credit, and then we get to the workforce and we don't get any credit. Funny how that works. But I encourage women to tell me when they got a promotion, when they won an award, when they had big successes, so I could highlight that within the group. And when I spotted them in the wild, at galas, behind a podium, organizing a fundraiser, I posted a sighting. 2 years later, the group is 600 women with thriving chapters in Madison and Chicago. Meet Alison Martinson. She says, being a boss and a mom simultaneously became a part of my identity. I hold my head higher, I'm prouder, happier, and more willing to take on the world. The bossy can take a piece of the credit for encouraging me to run for office as a Madison City Council alder. Whether they were helping me craft my fundraising pitch, supporting me financially, or running right alongside me, they were my backbone, and I couldn't have done it without them. She campaigned with her daughter, too. As I climbed my own ladder, I started to outgrow the little city I call home, Madison, Wisconsin. Madison is a wonderful place to raise kids, and my husband is a dyed-in-the-wool Wisconsin man. But if I was going to take my career to the next level, I needed to start looking at larger markets. And when I got an offer from a top Chicago firm, my dear friend, Jennifer Javornik from the group, took me aside and gave me the best get up there peanut. She knew my husband didn't want to move, and she knew my kids were happy in Madison. She said, why don't you split time between Madison and Chicago? Now, she definitely wasn't talking about driving every day. She meant, why don't you get an apartment in Chicago, work there 4 days a week, and travel home to Madison for the rest? My husband was already a stay-at-home dad, so he could handle 4 days all by himself. And in our industry, it's fairly common for people to work 4 days in another city. But that's not women. 77% of business travelers are men, and it's certainly not moms. But she had done it when her kids were young, and she loved it. She loved the separation, being able to focus on work while she was there and travel home for 3-day weekends that were all kiddo snuggles, tickles, and big adventures. It wasn't easy, but I wasn't looking for easy. I didn't want or need to be coddled. I needed to be pushed and encouraged by women who had been there before. And by turning around and being an example, I know I've helped other women push forward too. Here's why the group works so well. It's selfless. There's no money-making play. It's just a way for amazing women to know other amazing women. It's safe. Because it's exclusive, women are free to share their honest experiences. It's easy. Because it's primarily online, we aren't asking moms to leave their families during critical times at home without making an activity kid-friendly. We are genuinely different. We are as likely to talk about business valuation or intellectual property law as we are bedtime routines for toddlers or racial equity discussions with your teen. And we authentically support one another, from encouraging someone to run for office or showing up at a speaking engagement or sharing the name of a good divorce attorney. We are smart women. And the messaging we keep delivering to moms is recipes and coupons, and that's not cutting it. And in a professional setting, we keep expecting moms to take their career ambitions down a notch. For me, this group gave me the encouragement I needed to accept a job in Chicago and keep my family and home in Madison. And the results have been amazing. The group has launched peer-to-peer mentoring, in-person networking events, a children's book or two, and countless friendships and mentorships. But most importantly, this group has generated real dollars in the form of business partnerships and signed contracts. Because if we aren't helping one another be more successful, like men do, we're doomed. We all want a community that uplifts, supports, and encourages. A community that pushes us ahead and knows that truly we can have it all. So, to all the other breadwinning, butt-kicking powerhouses out there, get up there, peanut. Thank you.